Let's talk about mental health strategies to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Entrepreneurship, business ownership, leadership in any way, shape, or form tends to be stressful. Why? Because we're dealing with changes and challenges all the time. And mental health is probably a taboo topic in most circles, but I think the things we don't talk about tend to be the most important to our survival and success in any environment. I have lots of firsthand experience with this particular topic. I had a sudden cardiac arrest in 2010 and checked out for about a week plus in a coma, and then was in 6 months of cardiac rehab because I did not practice any or hardly any of these strategies that I'm going to recommend to you today. Now, it's interesting to note that I do them all. I do every single one of them following that event, but I want to share them so that we start doing it now before we get into burnout, depression, have negative impacts on our mental capacities, our ability to be productive, our ability to think straight, make good decisions. Our mental health has to do with all of those. We focus at least a month every year when I do an annual challenge, and we spend a month on the specific details of our mental health and well-being, as well as other life framework areas. That's another thing that I do now that I didn't used to do. I used to work, and take care of my family. And that was about all there was time for, which meant I didn't take very good care of myself. Work-life balance, that wasn't even a thing. It just wasn't. So if we want to have better decision-making, if we want to be more productive, if we want to have mental clarity and focus, if we want to be effective when we are working, we need to do these things and do these strategies. And then we'll talk a little bit about our culture, the culture in our business, the culture that we live in or among, and the impact that that has on our mental health and our mental well-being. Because I think a lot of the stress that I felt to the point of burnout and dropping dead was not because other people put pressure on me, but because I put pressure on myself to be able to do it all. And guess what? None of us can do it all. None of us are perfect. None of us are superwoman, although sometimes we think we have to be. We really don't have to be. It's about setting priorities and knowing what's important and what feels right to us and honoring that, not doing what we think everybody else thinks that we should do. So what are some of the strategies for good mental health? Number one, establish work-life balance. What does that mean? Well, it's different for each of us, and it's different during different stages of our life. Work-life balance would look different, although I didn't do it during the years that I was raising my kids and building businesses, than it would for me now. For me now, it's easy to have work-life balance because I'm in control of, my kids are grown. I have my grandkids I get to spend time with, but I get to choose what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, who I'm going to do it with, etc. And so it's easy to balance and make sure that I'm doing the things that keep me mentally and physically healthy and able. Practicing mindfulness, meditation, hypnosis, things like that. I do it every day. I've got a hypnosis app called Believe, which is a great name in my opinion. And I do it every single day. I do it in the morning. I do it at night. Sometimes I do it during the day because it keeps me relaxed and calm and focused on the tasks at hand and in the present moment, which is important for all of us. But we have to practice those things. We don't just naturally, we weren't born a good meditator. We have to know what some tools are and then apply those tools in our life. Seek professional help. Never done that. I'll admit it. Probably should. I think depending on the challenge that we're having, sometimes we need professional help, professional people, counselors and doctors, etc., that can help guide us in the direction we want to go to help us get there faster. We want to stay physically fit and physically well. I insist that I get some time in nature every single day. Even if it's just I walk out on the front porch and have a cup of coffee, I need to be outside every day doing something. I try to get a walk in nature every day. It doesn't always happen. For example, this morning, I don't think it's going to happen. It will sometime today. It's very, very hot out already. Summer, we love summer. So stay physically active, get some regular exercise. And again, regular exercise for me now is different than it was even 2 years ago. And it's different than it was prior to my sudden cardiac arrest. Prior to my sudden cardiac arrest, exercise extended only to running from place to place, running errands and, being at work, running the kids around, etc. But after that, definitely changed. I set a goal to exercise every day for a year, and I went 8 years without missing a day. And then I missed a day because I couldn't walk. Long story. Set realistic goals. We talk about goals a lot. I talk about goals a lot. Realistic, again, it's defined by you. Is it realistic or is it a stretch goal? I like big, hairy, audacious goals. I like the bigger, the better. I'm going to go for it knowing that it's probably impossible to even achieve, but I'm going to set that goal because I believe we shoot for the moon or the stars and we might land on the moon. I messed up that metaphor. So role of company culture in mental health and in the mental well-being of ourselves as well as others is absolutely positively critical. I've worked with organizations that have incredibly core value, central based cultures that live by the values that they expound in their sharing and in their, in their mission and vision and purpose and principles. And I've worked in company cultures that are absolutely toxic and sick. I don't work with companies that have toxic company cultures unless they want help fixing them. But I stay away from that now, even nowadays, because I know how bad that is to be around and how bad that is for me and my mental health. It's why I don't work in certain industries anymore. There are certain industries that for me are soul sucking. I call them soul sucking because that's how they make me feel. So I don't work in or with those industries. But I learned that the hard way by working in many of them and realizing not for me, not for me, not for me. So I think that's part of what we go through as entrepreneurs and business owners is we have to do some trial and error, figuring out who is for us and what is for us and what's not. We want to provide support and materials and resources for the people in our organization. We want to always be seeking to understand ourselves and the people in our organization better and letting them learn and grow and understand themselves as well. We also want to provide work-life balance in our organizations in order to, and it shows up by having flexible work schedules. It shows up by having remote work if appropriate. I'm going to say flexible work schedules when and if appropriate. I've worked terrible work schedules in my career that were just horrible, which is part of why I left one of my first jobs. Was like, nobody my age works a schedule like this. I'm young, I'm single, I want to still have a life. That was back when I still believed that I could have work-life balance before I had a family. And but offering different remote options, offering time off, offering sanity days. I love sanity days because sometimes we just need a break to rewind and recharge. So love to know your take on mental health. Is it a 4-letter word in your business? I've worked with businesses where saying anything about how you feel about something is totally taboo, which I would call a toxic and sick culture, but took a long time to learn that. All right, that's all I've got today. If I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow with some strategies that you can apply to supersize and grow your business. Have a great day.